really bad and he's out cold badly. Ref! Ref! Ref, he's dead, you fucking idiots! Ref! Ref, stop the fucking fight, ref! Ref, he's fucking out cold! Fuck you!
You know, if this was anybody other than Rampage Jackson's son, I don't think there'd be any empathy here at all. But we all love Rampage, and he's the man, you know. And the fact that he's his son, we're all sitting here like, bro, what the fuck, you know? And what do we think about this? You know, if it was just anybody else in the world, it'd be like, bro, throw that motherfucker, you know, in the cage and throw the key away, man. And that's probably what's going to happen to him. Like,
when I heard about this, I went, all right, how can I defend Raja? I look at all the videos. I watched the full live stream and all that. I got nothing. I got nothing. Oh, I can't, you can't defend this. I see this, it's so sad. Cause he was just getting started and that all goes away.
Hey man, dog gotta go to prison. I usually don't like to involve myself in other men's situations, but I feel I'm qualified to speak on this. And dog messed up. And if it's Rampage, I love Rampage. But Rampage, turn your son in. He got to go lay down for a little bit. Like, if it was my son, that's what I would tell him. I mean,
Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons over the past few days. The 25-year-old brutally attacked wrestler Stuart Smith during a KnockX Pro wrestling event in an incident many have described as an attempted murder. Jackson slammed Smith to the mat before unloading more than 20 punches, leaving him unconscious and requiring hospitalization.
You!
However, Raja Jackson and his father Rampage Jackson finally addressed the incident during a livestream. Raja placed blame on the cameraman, saying the situation escalated because the recording continued instead of shutting off the stream.
It wasn't my f***ing fault.
well,
The goddamn cameraman's fault. I know he's watching this shit. If you watching this shit, nigga, how could you? How fucking could you? That's what I expected, though. It's all good. We gonna figure this shit out.
Rampage Jackson addressed the controversy involving his son Raja and Psycho Stu, saying he had been receiving death threats. He explained that many of the messages came from racist people who accused him of being a bad father and treated him like the puppet master behind the incident. Rampage said the criticism was unfair and insisted that anything he says gets twisted.
How you doing, Mr. Jackson? Anything to say about, and you know, first of all, really sorry. We're really sorry about the whole situation.
I wish I could.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if there was any updates.
All I can say is all the racist people give me death threats and stuff like that. Like, I'm a puppet master. Calling me a bad father. It's uncalled for.
That's uncalled for. None of this is your fault. It's a. You made your explanation.
Anything I say gets twisted anyway. So.
Yeah.
Let's go let the turkey on.
No, I hear. Hey, prayers are with you and your family, man. Seriously. No, seriously.
The MMA pros were also shocked at such an unwanted and stupid act from Raja Jackson, and most of them want the spoiled kid to be jailed for some time to learn his lesson. MMA Guru called Raja Jackson an animal and insisted he should be in jail. He criticized the assault as a brutal display of unanswered strikes on an unconscious man, saying it looked like Raja was trying to kill him. Guru praised the bystander with pink hair for stepping in to stop the attack, but argued that no one else did anything. He concluded that Raja doesn't belong in society and should be locked up.
Thoughts on Raja doing a classic 13%? I mean, I'm sick of seeing it. Raining down shots and unanswered. Dead people. Like, he's unconscious on the ground. You just slammed him on his head. And now you're throwing 12 unanswered punches. Over and over again until you're trying to kill him. And the ref and all those in the ring that didn't stomp his out when he was doing that. Bruv, Raja should have got fucked out cold in that ring. No one was doing anything about it but that pink hair guy. Shout out to the pink hair guy for jumping in the ring and trying to stop him at least. Brother, dumb animal, put him in a cage. Straight up. Not a human. Not allowed in society. Control yourself, dumb bit. Bring that sparring partner back. Tornado kick him again. Dumb animal.
Matt Brown reacted strongly to the incident involving Raja Jackson assaulting a defenseless pro wrestler. He said that if Raja wasn't Rampage Jackson's son, there would be no sympathy at all, but because of Rampage's legacy, people are conflicted. Brown admitted that if it were anyone else, the reaction would simply be to lock him up and throw away the key. He pointed out that the video evidence makes the case clear, leaving little to investigate and questioned how severe the charges could get. Brown added that since Raja continued striking a knocked-out opponent, attempted murder or something similar could realistically be on the table.
You know, if this was anybody other than Rampage Jackson's son, I don't think there'd be any empathy here at all, but we all love Rampage and he's the man, you know, and the fact that he's his son, we're all sitting here like, bro, what the fuck, you know, and what do we think about this? You know, if it was just anybody else in the world, it'd be like, bro, throw that motherfucker, you know, in the cage and throw the key away, man. And that's probably what's going to happen to him. Like, you know, you say they're investigating, like, well, there's not a lot to investigate. Like, there's a video that shows it pretty goddamn clear, you know, what do we need to investigate here? So, you know, what's he gonna get? You know, I don't know what like attempted murder is, but I mean, he was fucking knocked out and punching the shit out of him. You know, I don't know how far they go in there or what the details are to get that charge.
Matt Brown continued his reaction by saying aggravated assault and battery were cert, calling it a clear felony case with no way around it. He described Raja Jackson's actions as a shit move, explaining that if he wanted to fight, he should have fought fairly instead of blindsiding someone. Brown noted that the pro wrestler was preparing for a staged takedown when Raja slammed him on his head, pointing out that the victim was lucky enough to only end up in hospital given how dangerous the attack was.
Aggravated assault's for sure, battery, you know what I mean? Like, this is a felony for sure, right? I mean, there's I don't think there's any way out of that. So, you know, kind of just is what it is for him now. But like what a shitty move, man. You know, like, you want to fight the guy, fight the guy. Like, dude was like, you know, we watched the video right before the podcast here. You know, the dude was like preparing for a pro wrestling style takedown, and motherfucker slammed him on his head. Like, you know, dude's lucky that, you know, like you said, he's hospitalized, but man, he's lucky that that's all that happened, you know?
Matt Brown admitted he had love and respect for Rampage Jackson, but said his son should still be punished for what he had done. He stressed that the most important thing was the victim's recovery, hoping the man healed up fully, especially given his background as a veteran who might already struggle with PTSD. Brown said all anyone could do was send positive energy and hope for the best, but at the same time, he felt justice should be served and Raja Jackson should face the consequences.
Hopefully the guy's all right, man. That's about all you can say at the end of the day, right? Hopefully the guy just heals up and, you know, with some PTSD or being a veteran and everything, man, you know, just hope that the guy turns out okay, man. Send him some positive energy and hope for the best. That's about the most you can say about it. Other than that, you know, again, loving Rampage, but, you know, hopefully justice is done and his son gets what he deserves.
However, Sean Strickland argued that Rampage Jackson's son should not be sent to jail and instead should go to rehabilitation. He insisted prisons should always be the last resort, recalling his own experience of being arrested at the age of just 19. Strickland explained that if the DA had succeeded, he would have spent 6 years in prison and likely come out worse, indoctrinated by gangs and violence. He admitted that back then, he even looked up to another inmate who had a murder charge, and he believed that path would have eventually led him to kill someone. Sean Strickland said, Jackson's kid shouldn't go to jail. Prison should always be a last resort. I was arrested at 19 for 2 felony at GBIs. I would have spent 5 to 6 years in prison if the DA had its way. After 6 years in cell, coming out with nothing, being indoctrinated with gangs and violence, I guarantee I would have killed someone. There was one guy telling me about how he picked up a murder charge and I remembered being impressed by him, and that would have been my future. Sean Strickland further reflects his own past to argue against sending Rampage Jackson's son to prison. He recalls being a teenager facing serious charges himself and says the system nearly pushed him toward years behind bars. Instead, he was given a chance through alternative sentencing, which included strict programs and restitution, and Strickland stresses that locking someone away often only only makes them worse, while structured rehabilitation can truly change a person's future. For him, giving young offenders a way to rebuild is always better than condemning them to prison. Sean Strickland added, "Instead, I put it into 100 days of jail or work release, a ton of anger management, and a decent amount of victim restitution. After a miserable 2 years of court, luckily, a lawyer took my case for free because I didn't have a dollar to my name. Bottom line is, it's not about the person in prison, it's about who they become when they're out of prison. And I believe if I wasn't offered that deal, I would be dead today, and more than likely would have resulted in someone else's death as well. My 2 cents, rehabilitation over prison always." However, Matt Brown strongly disagreed with Sean Strickland's stance on rehabilitation, saying Rampage Jackson's son deserved punishment. He explained that it would have been different if it was just a fight where both men were defending themselves, but in this case, the victim was already knocked out and defenseless. Brown argued that only Rampage himself could be expected to plead for leniency because it was his son, but for everyone else, there was no reason to show sympathy toward such behavior.
I don't agree with Sean on that at all. You know, like, the dude doesn't, like, it'd be one thing, you know, if like they got in a fight and he fucked him up and, you know, hurt him bad, right? But like, the dude was defenseless and then knocked out. Like, fuck him. And the only guy that should not be saying fuck him is Rampage, right? Because it's his son. And he's the one that should be saying, you know, can we just give him some help or something, you know, try to stick up for him. But everybody else, I mean, we have no reason to have any sympathy for that kind of behavior.
Brendan Schwab reacted to Roger Jackson's incident by admitting he couldn't defend it despite wanting to. He said he respects both Roger and Rampage, and even spoke with Rampage about it, but after watching the full livestream and videos, he was left with nothing to say in Roger's defense. Schwab called the situation sad, especially since Roger was just getting started, and now all of that is gone.
And I'll be transparent, I like Raja, and obviously I adore Rampage. Me and Rampage have a great relationship. I love Rampage. And it's just by nature, my initial thought was when I heard about this, and I spoke with Rampage, when I heard about this, I went, all right, how can I defend Raja? I look at all the videos, I watched the full live stream and all that. I got nothing. I got nothing. Oh, I can't, you can't defend this. I see this, it's so sad. Because he was just getting started, and that all goes away.
Brendan Schwab continued by saying that Roger Jackson's future depends heavily on whether the veteran pro wrestler presses charges. He explained that if the wrestler decides it was just a misunderstanding or part of an act, then Roger may avoid jail but will still face heavy backlash online. However, if the wrestler is convinced to press charges, Schwab warned that things could get very serious, with potential charges like attempted murder or aggravated assault on the table, making the situation extremely tough for Roger.
This veteran pro wrestler decides to press charges. That pro wrestler goes, this was a bit or this was a work, and he just thought that's how it works, I'm not pressing charges. Raja's still gonna take a lot of heat online, but you're not doing jail time. Then we can figure it out. But if that dude wakes up and somebody's in his ear and goes, dude, you gotta make this dude pay. He has to learn a lesson and he presses charges, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough. Attempted murder, aggravated assault, it'll be tough. Talking about felony, you know?
Kevin Lee reacted to the situation by saying Roger Jackson's actions could not be excused, emphasizing that as a grown man, he must face the consequences. He admitted there were claims that Smith had hit him with a bottle earlier, but pointed out that attacking hours later, while Smith was performing in character, was completely wrong. Lee said Roger essentially snuck him, noting reports that Smith was flatlined and left unconscious for 6 minutes.
You a grown man, bro. You can't condone that type of behavior, bro. You gotta go lay down for a little bit. We'll get you a good lawyer. You ain't gonna be in there forever, but you gotta go lay down. I get it. He hit you in the head with a bottle beforehand. I get it. He shouldn't have did that. I don't condone that either. But to wait hours until the man was working, which we all understand, he playing a character, and he was in character, and he working, and then you sneak him, because that's what you did. I mean, you snuck him. He wasn't expecting that, and you, bro, they say dude flatlined and was unconscious for 6 minutes afterwards.
Kevin Lee said Raja Jackson should go to prison, stressing there was nothing cool about the attack. He questioned why Raja had no self-control and let his emotions take over, suggesting he was probably watching Smith perform and just kept getting angrier. Lee made it clear that this kind of behavior has no place in a civilized society, especially when everyone knows what pro wrestling really is.
Dog gotta go lay down. You gotta go to prison, bro. There's no part of that you thought was cool. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around why you thought that was cool and why you ain't got no self-control over your emotions. I get it, you and your feelings. You probably was watching them work and just getting madder and madder. But bro, you can't have that in no civilized society. Like, we all understand what pro wrestling is, don't we?
Myron Gaines also reacted to the incident and said he doesn't see how Raja Jackson avoids arrest after the brutal footage. He warned that Raja needs to get a good lawyer immediately, stay off camera, and stop speaking publicly about the incident, stressing that police are 100% going to make an arrest.
Yo, be honest with y'all, bro, I don't see how he doesn't go to jail. I like Rampage Jackson, you guys know, I think Rampage is awesome. But after looking at that footage, bro, like, they need to get a lawyer. Like, me just being dead ass. Like, he needs to get a good lawyer right now and be prepared. They're 100% gonna come in and arrest him for that. I don't know what they're gonna charge him with, but slamming him the way that he did and punching him that many times, he needs to find a lawyer. I don't even know why they're still on camera talking about it, to be honest with y'all. He should stay off camera. They shouldn't talk about this shit ever again and secure a lawyer and just sit tight. Because the police are absolutely coming. There's no way they're not gonna make an arrest after that, bro. There's no way.
Similarly, influencer HS Tiki-Taki blasted Raja Jackson for his assault on Stuart Smith, labeling it attempted murder and a helpless opponent. He challenged Raja to step into a boxing ring against someone who could actually defend themselves and claimed that Raja shares none of the qualities that made his father Rampage Jackson respected.
That's coming from me, like, that's tap. Like, he's just, that is literally attempted murder. He's knocked out, you keep punching him, I don't rate that. Raja, why don't you get in the ring with me, bro? Why don't you get in the ring with me, bro? Fight someone who can fight back. Rather than beating someone up who's already on the floor. He should have stopped when the guy was knocked out, but he definitely should have battered the guy. Like, the guy took the piss. But like, I wouldn't have waited till the ring. I would have just done it there and then, like, straight away. It just would have been a fight there and then. Raja does MMA. Mate, Raja does MMA, bro. He's nothing like his dad, though. Like, his dad was actually good at fighting. He's not good at fighting. I've seen a few clips. He got banged in his head by a kid in sparring. You could have seen that spinning left kick from a mile away. I would have gone, do you know what I would have done? Underneath, look, hands here to protect the chin. As that left kick come in, I would have gone underneath, right hook, left body, left hook. Finished.
And that wraps up today's video. We hope you've enjoyed it. Do you think Raja Jackson should have been jailed immediately? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe for more amazing videos.